My name is Lakshmi Sahiti Malladi, and this is another video about the conspiracy against Sri Nithyananda Swami. In February of 2009, I had just turned 13. But it was this year that would be forever ingrained in my head as the year that I was sexually abused and raped by Vinay Bharadwaj. Vinay called me on the phone at least 200 times. Many of the phone calls were happening late at night. And it's embarrassing to talk about what we had talked about, to share how gullible I was, and how obviously I was so innocent. But it took me a long time to stop blaming myself and understand that he was the one manipulating me. He was the one planting ideas into my head. He asked me to read about Tantric practices. He twisted and turned around the truths of Hinduism just to justify his sick desire. And I didn't know this then, but it was a far more bigger reason. He said that the linga is the form of the masculine energy, and that's why it's the phallic shaped. And then he said the yoni is the form of the feminine energy. He taught me that the entire Hinduism is in worshipping the cosmic union between male and female, and he associated enlightenment with sex, and told me that orgasms were a powerful path to enlightenment. He even asked me once, "Do you know what the clitoris is?" I remember searching it afterwards because I had no idea. And that was the first time that I even heard of that word. I was just 13. I didn't realize this then, but it was so clear that he was feeding my brain with these ideas so that when he aggressively pursued a relationship, a sexual relationship with me, he could just justify his actions. And I fell for it completely. Vinay took me to his apartment at least 7 times in the span of 4 months. He would take my clothes off, kiss my lips, and my neck, and my breasts, and my stomach. He would even grind his penis against me so painfully that it even created lesions that would last for months. I screamed out in pain and was clenching my teeth to hold in the pain, but he never stopped until he released. Finally, in November of 2009, I was so happy to be relieved of him. But this doesn't happen easy. I remember by then I had lost so much hair and I lost so much weight because I was just so depressed. I couldn't tell anyone this truth. I couldn't tell anyone because he had just isolated me completely from my parents by telling that they were bad people, that they were puppets of Swamiji, and bad-mouthing Swamiji completely. I had no idea that by this time he had already been talking to so many other people about the conspiracy that he had been planning. Finally, one day, he told me to run away with him. He told me and asked me directly on chat messenger, how we used to talk, that to lie and say that Swamiji had did everything that he did to me. And I refused immediately. Instead of writing that letter about Swamiji, I told the truth to my parents and finally came clean with them. Since then, he has been accused and charged and sent to prison for 3 accounts of child molestation to the 2nd grade and 1 account of communication with a minor. I was so shocked when in 2012 I read the complaint that he had filed against Swamiji, saying that he was raped and he was sexually abused by Swamiji. That is when I confirmed within myself that he was planning so much from the beginning, and he wanted me to participate in the conspiracy that he was planning. And when he couldn't find anyone else other than Aarti Rao, he himself filed the complaint. He said all the things that he had told me he had put in that complaint. He told me that enlightenment can be achieved through sex and orgasms. He told me that Hinduism is a tantric practice, and he associated so many false ideas about Hinduism into my head. But it's so sad to see that now that he's deported, he is free to do anything he pleases. Only now we see so much is going on. Still so many lies are being spread. Who knows the amount of people he is still hurting? And just because Paramahamsa Nithyananda kicked Vinay out when rumors went around of what he did to me, Swamiji, who I call my guru, has to go through such a big conspiracy and so much sacrifice. Only now, after getting to know more and more of the truth, and many other women who have the same story of Vinay coming up to them and asking about being a part of this conspiracy, did I realize that he wanted me a part of this plan. It was so much bigger than I had even realized. That's why I needed to make this video. I hope that you are listening and that you're eager to spread the truth. Thank you so much.